Okay, we've just finished Mesopotamia on the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, and after this mini unit, we're going to go to Egypt on the Nile River. But first, the Hittites, the Assyrians, the Persians, and the Phoenicians. And in your notes, you want to have this title and this subtitle. So pause it till you get it written down. And then you're going to have number one, and you're going to have four parts. And instead of dots, you can just indent and say A, B, C, D, or you can have dots as long as you indent. And remember on Google Drive, you would go up to the right, you look for the 1, 2, 3, click on it, and then you put your cursor here and push return, and then the tab button, and then you can get the A, and then write what you got to write, and then push enter, and then tab, and you write what you want to write. Okay, so they're going to rule for roughly 200 years. 1400 BCE is before the Common Era, which means before zero. So 1400 BCE is 3,400 years ago, because you'd have to add 2013 to 1400 to get the difference. This is like negative number. And the big contribution they're going to bring to the area is going to be iron is going to come in particular, they can use it for weapons. They come from Asia Minor, which is Turkey, all the way to the edge of Mesopotamia, and you can see that here. Here is where they're coming from, or they're starting, and here is Tigris, and here is Euphrates, and of course this area right here is the Fertile Crescent. And they are going to be followed by number two, the Assyrians, who are going to take the Hittites' ironwork, and they're going to push into all of Mesopotamia. They're going to dominate for 500 years. 1100 minus 500 means they go from 1100 BCE to 600 BCE. And they are going to bring the concept of roads, or build roads, to move their military and to trade. They're going to bring the concept of money and the idea of a library. And here you can see the Assyrians area in the purple, and of course this area right here is the Fertile Crescent. Okay, the third group are the Persians, led by, it should say, Darius the First. He is going to be allowing other people, allowing the people conquer the people he takes over, to keep their ways of life, their custom, and their religion. He's going to have a well-organized government because he needs it to take over them. He's going to keep the Assyrian roads and their money system. They're also going to bring in, the Persians will also bring in the religion Zoroastrianism, and he sees, and Zoroastrianism is playing out between a good God and a bad God, evil versus good. So two gods, which means polytheistic. Poly, P-O-L-Y, which is many, and theistic, T-H-E-I-S-T-I-C. Got my daughter here. Polytheism, P-O-L-Y-T-H-E-I-S-M. Okay, and there you can see that the Hittites were up here, the Assyrians were right around here, and the Persians are just much, much bigger, and we're going to study them later in the year. And then finally, number four, the Phoenicians. And the Phoenicians are going to be along the Mediterranean coast, which I'll show you in a second. They're known for two things, being strong sailors and traders. And they're going to make things like glass, paper scrolls, and purple dye, which is going to be used in clothing. And most importantly for us, they're going to come up with the concept of an alphabet. You remember cuneiform with the Mesopotamians or the Sumerians? That is a symbolic language as opposed to an alphabet where you have one letter, or multiple letters, as you're going to see in a second. So they're sailors, and they come up with an alphabet. And those are two things you're going to see all year. And you can see their color here, it's good to know map, is their colonies, and where they took over is going to be right along the lower part of the Mediterranean. And here is the Nile River, and over here, if I had the map going further to the right, would be Mesopotamia. So moving right along, you have the Phoenician alphabet, and you can see other early ones, such as the Roman one, which is we're going to take in part Latin and the Greeks. But remember, the Phoenicians are the first one actually to have letters. And then here are some other ones like Arabic, just comparing them. So that's it. The Hittites, the Assyrians, the Persians, and the Phoenicians.